music has been wonderful. I've sure enjoyed it. How many of you are thankful for music that is clearly Christ-honoring? And boy, let's thank all these musicians and singers again. Well done. Well done. And I have thoroughly enjoyed Brother Vaughn every morning. He throws those nuggets out there so fast. You have to be careful to catch them all. But I'm telling you, that's amazing. In the time that I can't get an introduction out, he's over and done. And he just makes it happen. Oh, my. And God has given that man a gift, and his passion for prayer has touched our life. It's touched our ministry's life. And I pray that today it's touching your life. Boy, last night's message from Dr. John Gibbs, this magnificent servant. How many of you liked his football story last night? How many of you are on the playing field with him getting thumped at 63-0 at halftime, right? Wow. I played in some football games I thought were a little lopsided. I feel wonderful today. Turn in your Bibles, please, to the book of John, chapter 16. The book of John, chapter 16. We're living in a day when everybody wants your ear. Do you understand? To get into you, God created you with two ports of entry. One is your eyes and one is your ears. Anybody who wants to influence you says, hey, look here, look here. Hey, listen to this, listen to this. Because that's how you get in. Who you give your eyes to and who you give your ears to, their influence is in. I promise you, in this conference, we're doing everything in our power. Brother Vaughn's doing everything in his power to capture your eyes and your ears, because that's how you get in. And who you give your eyes and ears to is who you're saying fashioned my life. I grew up on farms. A little different than the dairy farms that Dr. Getch was on. I grew up on cattle feedlot farms. We were in the cattle slaughtering business. My family slaughtered 5,000 to 7,000 head of cattle a week. And I grew up on feedlots where semis were coming and going. Our farms were never pretty. They were farms. But one day I bought a small farm for myself, and I got some cattle. And I got a great buy on the farm because it was all overgrown. It had been let go. All the weeds on my farm were shoulder high. Some of them were 10 feet high. But I got a great buy because I wasn't sure what I bought. So I called my dad and I said, I need to borrow your brush hog and get out here and clean this up, see what I own. And I like brush hogs. How many of you ever had a brush hog time? Yeah, I mean, they're just fun. Nothing's pretty, but it's all down, okay? And you go over it, and man, if the tractor can bend it over, it'll chop it up for you. Well, I'm out mowing along, and everything's going good, and I made a discovery that I bought something on my farm I did not know was there. Now, I found a lot of things. Somebody had thrown away dozens of old baby buggies. You ought to hear what they sound like going through a brush hog. It's great. And then somebody threw away some old engine blocks. You ought to hear what they sound like going through a brush hog. Pow. But I'm mowing along, and I went over a hole, not very big, but that big around. And in that hole was an animal I had no idea existed on planet Earth. They're called ground bees. They're a cousin of a wasp. And when I went over that hole, those ground bees, like an oil gusher, came flying up out of that hole. They came after that tractor, and they came after that brush hog like you couldn't imagine. They're trying to sting it. Some of them went into the tires and stuck so hard they got stuck on the tires of the tractor. But while they were nailing the tractor and while they were nailing the brush hog, you could hear them talking. Oh, I'm telling you, they did. They said, get the fat boy on the tractor. That's what they said. They went up my pant legs. They went down the back of my T-shirt. They went up under my ball cap. I got bit everywhere. Those stingers are unreal. I come flying off that tractor, swatting myself. I didn't even get the thing out of gear. It just ran off and went and hit a tree and stopped over there. Man, I went and jumped under. There's a pond, probably a distance from here to that wall. Man, I jumped in that pond, and I'm looking up. You can see them hitting the water. Finally, they went away. I come out of that pond, and I had one mission in life. Get even with the ground bees. I know vengeance belongs to the Lord, but on occasion, he just has to understand. That's all. I mean, it's just... I told my wife, she said, you're so lucky you didn't get killed. I said, I'm telling you, I'm going to get even. She said, don't you think we should call some people out here who know what they're doing? How many of you men understand the inherent insult in that comment, right? Now, if you're in the country and you want to do something, there is a resident place of knowledge called the feed store. And in the country, you go to the feed store, and there are always guys sitting in the feed store who can answer just